Hello everybody and welcome to your new boot camp of the week. So this next coming month might be a little sporadic, but I'm going to try and get as many classes out as I can for you every Friday so that hopefully you have new workouts every week and you can just, not get too bored with the old ones and we can sort of kind of stay up to date with each other since we're not seeing each other in person right anytime soon. Hopefully that will be sometime soon, but until then it's -20 out, and who wants to leave your house anyway? So let's just get fit in our own living room. I'm going to get you to have your chair, make sure you have shoes on. We're going to be doing some balance stuff today, so if you do prefer to take your shoes off for the balance stuff, feel free to do so, but as always it's going to be kind of functional movement, so don't feel obligated to do that. Okay, if you need the chair for balance, absolutely feel free to use it, but we're going to start with some bringing the knees up nice and high, standing up tall, shoulders are back, core is active. The higher you can get the knees, the better. The more you're going to open up those hip flexors and the core, a little bit of the back as well. So pay attention to what's behind you. I do not want you to kick your heel into a coffee table or anything like that. I want you to lean forward a little bit and you're going to turn them into butt kicks. Not that you have to kick your butt, but try to just kick that general direction. Your main goal is to actually feel these guys stretch, the front of the legs, maybe a little bit in the knee joint, but hopefully mostly just right in that thigh muscle. We're also going to stretch out the hamstrings a little bit today. It's a little bit of balance. What I want you to do is you're going to stand in neutral position, and then your one leg, doesn't matter which one, the heel's going to go on the ground, toe pointing up, the knee hopefully straight, and I want you to just kind of sit back into your hips. So when you lean forward, you're going to feel that stretch in your hamstring, in your calf. Breathe into it, and then we're going to switch to the other side. We're going to do this a couple times. So the heel's on the ground, toe is up. It's all in the hips. The more you push your butt back and then bend into the hips, the more you're going to feel this right into that hamstring. Let's switch back to that other side. Try and get a little bit deeper this time. Now that you know what it should feel like, as you bend into that hip and push the hip back, you'll get that hamstring quite a bit. And last time, switching that other leg. You might also get this in the calf, probably. We do have tight calves a lot of the time, so this might be calf, back of the knee as well as hamstring. And good, so just kind of shake those legs out a little bit. Decently wide stance of the feet, and we're going to turn those into core twists. As always with core twists, make sure you lift up that heel so that you do not hurt your knee. And if you start to get dizzy because your head is moving with your body, feel free to just have your head straight, looking straight, and then it won't give you such an issue with it in your ear. Really what I want you to do is just to open up the spine and the hips and the shoulders. We're going to slow down those twists, come a little bit closer to that neutral position, watch out behind you. You're going to do some arm circles, one and then the other. Keeping those elbows as straight as you can and as close to the ears as possible. This one's mostly shoulders, so we're going to turn that into a little bit more chest by doing bear hugs. So it's going to be the kick back where you feel that chest open up in those arms, and if you have tight chest muscles or your neck is really, really sore, just be careful with this one. Work your way gently into it, and as it loosens up, then you can put a little bit more momentum into it and you'll feel a deeper stretch in the pectoralis muscles. So a couple more here. And good. Wide stance with the feet. Width is up to you, but the wider you go, the more of a stretch you're going to get. If you go too wide, then you'll do the splits. That's not a good thing. So just be careful with this one. Essentially what I want you to do is bend into that one knee, and then you're going to shift your weight and bend into the other knee. Feel the stretch in the straight leg while you push that hip down towards the floor. Switch back. And switch last time. Then you're going to come back to center, bring those feet back in, and again, just kick those legs a little bit. Last one we're doing here is the shoulders, or rather the neck. So I want those shoulders back and down away from your ears, and then you're going to just tilt the head to the side. Depending on how bad this is, try not to get sharp pain. Tightness is okay, lifting the head, tilting to the other side, but try to avoid causing sharp pain in the neck. We're going to do this one more time. Lift the head up, tilt it to the right, feel that stretch. Come back up to center, and last time to that one side. Bring back to center, and again, some shoulder circles to loosen everything up. Feel free to have some water. Remember, at any time with this workout, you can just pause me so that you can have water and catch your breath, or you can just slow down the movement, do less reps, modify it if you need to. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit of cardio stuff right now. To start, to warm up those legs, nice and easy, we're gonna be doing seated front kicks and sit down squats. So essentially, I just want you kind of on the edge of your chair or couch. Hopefully the couch isn't too squishy so you don't fall back into it, but something nice and solid is better. Feet are about hip distance apart, core is active, and your shoulders are back. And I just want you to kick with one leg, kick with the other leg, and stand up, push those hips forward and squeeze the glutes. All right, try that out. Kick, kick, and then stand up. While you're doing this, technically speaking, I want you to try to pull your belly button into your spine the whole time while you breathe. So I know that that could be difficult because you're either sucking your belly in and then you can't breathe, or you're just ignoring it completely. So it's two different actions. When you pull the belly button into your spine, you're trying to lower abdominal contraction, and you're breathing a little bit higher up in the rib cage. Technically, you should be able to do both. Try it out, you know, put it out there, see what comes back. Just give me one more time here. Kick, kick, and then come up. Depending on your joints, you're either going to be marching on the spot, bring those knees up nice and high, shoulders back, or if you'd like, jogging on the spot. If you haven't done this in a while, feel free to try jogging on the spot. And then if something starts to give you warning signs, sharp pain in the knees or the back, then just modify down to marching on the spot, okay? We got 15 seconds left. Try and get those knees up a little bit higher. Nice and tall in the torso. Don't forget to breathe. 3, 2, and good. All right, your feet are about hip distance apart. These touchdowns, you do not have to touch the floor, but I do want you to get those hips back and then reach up as tall as you can up to the sky. So you go down as low as you comfortably can and then reach up. With these touchdowns, it's mostly going to be the lower back. That if you can't bend that far down, just go to the knees and then up. So it'll look like this. It'll save your back, but you're still getting all the other joints moving, and you will get your heart and your lungs working for you. So just keep that in mind. We got 10 seconds left. Try to get a little bit deeper into that movement. See where it takes you. If it kind of kicks back a little bit, then modify as needed. And good. Shake out those legs a little bit. You don't need any weights for this one. We're going to be doing kind of arm circles, but not like the warm-up. You're in neutral position, squeeze your glutes, core is active, shoulders are back. You're going to have your arms out to the sides at shoulder height, and I want you to do little arm circles, okay? So just breathe through this movement. Your main goal is to actually squeeze those shoulder blades together as you do the little movement. Don't let your glutes go. You should be able to contract them the whole time. And just really isolate those shoulders, neck area. Keep them as straight as possible. They'll want to start to bend or lower, so don't let that happen. Try and keep them up nice and high. Keep going. 10 seconds left. This is an endurance exercise, so it takes a little bit longer to get through. 5, 4, 3, 2, and good. Just kind of shake out those arms. All right, so you're back to those sit down squats with the front kick. Make sure you have something stable to sit on. On the edge is best, just so you can stay up nice and tall. Kick first, then do the stand up squat. Squeeze those glutes. It is an over-exaggerated neutral position when you come up, because I want you to really isolate those hips, push them forward, but I don't want you to go too far with it. A lot of the time we like to go all the way forward and then you're arching your back. Don't let that happen. All I'm asking is that you push the hips far enough that you don't end up doing this, which is what we always like to do, that half movement. I would like you to stand tall when you squeeze the glutes. Give me one more time here. Kick with one leg and the other, and then come on up. Shake out those legs. Breathe deep. And again, you're either marching on the spot or jogging on the spot. So with marching on the spot, you can go as fast as you want and bring those knees up as much as you need. If this is still too much on the ankles and the knees, you can just bring those knees down a little bit less. You'll notice immediately it's less pressure. You're still moving, core is active, you're still squeezing those glutes. If you can handle it, jogging on the spot will get the heart going the most because you're kind of bouncing up and down on that floor. Still trying to squeeze those glutes, still trying to be tall. So if you start to lose it, or if you get sharp pain, modify down. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and perfect. Shaking out those legs. Again, watch your depth here, especially with your lower back. Feet are about hips distance apart. We're going to do touchdowns towards the floor. Not that you have to touch the floor, but you are working on those hands right up in the air. Hi, sweetie. She's so happy today, but she probably won't be next week. I'm getting her spayed. Don't tell her. She doesn't know what's coming. Hopefully it all goes well. But we're there. She's definitely mature enough to go to the vet. Have a fun little adventure next week doing that. You got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and you're good. Okay. Neutral position. Arms out. This time, I want those fingers facing up towards the ceiling. And I want you to do a little bit bigger circles. Not like the arm circles we do for the warm-up, but just bigger circles to really get those shoulders working for you. Still try to keep the elbows as straight as you can. They'll want to bend. And watch those fingertips. They'll want to just kind of relax. So keep those hands flexed. Fingers wide. And don't forget to breathe. Breathing is important with this one. Got 5 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, and good. Shake out those arms. Okay, we have one more time. So if you need to rest or sit down, absolutely feel free to do that. Otherwise, we're going to start with those sit-down squats and front kick. You should feel on a scale from 1 to 10, shoulders back, core is active, and go ahead. On that scale from 1 to 10, you should feel about a 6 or a 7 on that scale. This is difficult. You should be breathing heavy by now, getting a little bit of sweat going, but it's not so difficult that you're feeling nauseous, okay? Definitely don't want to go there. You just want to get that heart pumping, get the blood flowing. That's the goal. Keep on going. You got 10 seconds left. Really work on those glutes. You might feel that a little bit in the knees. 3, 2, and good. All right. Last time, marching or jogging on the spot. And go ahead. Don't be afraid to modify halfway through either. So if you started with jogging on the spot for the first and second set, and this third time, that's when your back and knees are starting to give you warning signs, modify down this set. You don't always have to stay consistent, and depending on the day too, okay? Sometimes we have good days, and sometimes we wake up and we have bad days. So just pay attention to what your body is telling you. Your body, not your brain. Your brain is like, ugh, I hate jogging on the spot. Don't listen to that. I want you to listen to your physical body and what it's telling you. Okay, slow it on down. Shake out those legs. We're doing those touchdowns. Feet about hip distance apart. And go ahead, hips first. So if you're finding that your knees are still hurting and you're only going to this depth, it's probably because you're doing this. Knees are bending, hips not really doing anything. I want your butt to go back so the knees never go over the toe. That's a huge indication. If your knees are aching, it's probably because the knees are bending first, they can't handle it, and then they go over the toe and you get out of neutral position. So do keep that in mind. Remember, core is active the whole time. Glutes will squeeze when you come up. Give me one more time. And good. Okay. With those arm circles, what I want you to do now, shoulders back, you're in neutral position, palms face down. So your wrists are flexed. They're facing down like this. I'm going to do big arm circles first. Don't forget to breathe. Expand that rib cage. Keep those core and glutes active. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn this movement into little arm circles. Make sure those fingers still point down. Elbows are straight. You would hopefully be able to really squeeze those shoulder blades back now because you're not doing a big movement with them. And now you can isolate. 10 more seconds. Breathe through it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shake out those arms. That can be a lot. Okay, now feel free to have some water if you've been holding off. And we're going to start, of course, with that cross ankle seated stretch. So I want you to cross the right ankle first, sitting up nice and tall, then leaning forward. And as you breathe into the stretch, you can do the two things. Straighten the spine, lean forward. If you do want a little bit deeper, you can also put a little bit of pressure on that bent knee and push it down while you're leaning forward. It totally depends on your hip. If sitting up straight and you're like, wow, that's really tight, then just stay there. You don't have to lean forward. You don't have to push down. Pay attention to what your body's telling you. Okay, I want you to lean back first. That'll release the leg, and then switch to the other side. You sit up tall first, then lean forward. Deep inhale, nice and tall spine. Exhale, lean forward into it a little bit. Try and put some pressure down on that knee. Okay, now I want you to lean back and then release. So we're going to do a little bit of physio. I'm just going to try and get into a better camera view here so you can see me. We're going to be doing toe taps. Remember those? Remember the days when you guys were like not even here because you were off somewhere on a wonderful sunny adventure on vacation? Yeah. And then I told you to do toe taps on the plane because we have to prevent blood clots. Let's pretend we're going to go on a plane. And let's do those now. So I want you to definitely on the edge of your chair, feet about hips distance apart. And all I want you to do is lift those toes as high as you can. As fast as you can, sure, but as high as you can is more important. Mostly because the shins will definitely fatigue very, very quickly here. And they'll start to sputter and they'll start to be like, and they'll slow down. So even when you slow down, I still want you to fight for height. And they might have to go together or they can be separate, whatever those shins have to do. Fight for height. Oh man, I haven't done this in a long, long time either, guys. So just keep going, keep going. We have 10 seconds left. An eternity. I know, keep going, fight through it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. You're gonna kick one foot underneath the chair, pushing down through that ankle. Switch to the other side. It's the top of the foot actually goes onto the floor, and you just push that ankle down. Let's do one more time on each side to just really stretch out those shins. And other side. And good. All right. So you're going to come up. We're definitely going to need the chair. Hi, Smudge. Hey, little baby. You want to sit on the chair? Oh, while I do the front kicks? Yeah. All right. So, using your chair, do not kick the back leg of the chair. We're just going to be doing standing side kicks. Not about balance at all. Essentially what I want you to do is you're going to internally rotate your toe. So you're leading with your butt. Stand up nice and tall. And I just want you to kick out to the side. We're isolating that one glute. The supporting leg, bend into the knee a little bit. Squeeze that glute just to help you balance and help keep everything nice and active. But it's this guy. It's not a very big movement. If you're leaning forward and you're doing this, we're not isolating. You stand tall. Nothing else moves except that leg kicking out to the side. And it's the heel that's leading because the toe is pointed inward. Just give me 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and good. Shake out those legs. Switching to that other side. You're standing tall. Internally rotate that foot. Isolating this glute med. And go ahead. Kicking out as much as possible. You are trying to keep that same width and keep it equal on each side. And you're trying to keep the same speed as both sides. But hips are rarely equal, so one might be worse than the other, and that's totally fine. You got 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, and good. Shake out those legs. All right. This one, be careful with your depth. Kind of like that stretch that we did for the inner thigh. We're actually just going to work those inner thighs now. So, as wide as you can, but not too wide. You're going to be in this position, and then I want you to shift your weight to that one side, you're bending your knee, but this time just stay low the whole time, and we're just going to shift side to side. Yes, you absolutely should feel the stretch like we did in the warm-up, but because we're going a little bit faster, and we're trying to get a little bit lower, you should also feel the legs have to work for you. Hello. I should have put you in a costume. What was I thinking? Yes, Smudge, but I'm busy working right now. Oh, if only I could bring Smudgy to the classes. He would just be crawling all over you guys. Give me 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and good. So when you come out of this, you baby step out of it, all right? We're gonna go back to the chair, and we're doing those seated, watch your tail, toe taps, all right? So sitting up nice and tall, shoulders back, and go ahead. We're gonna be doing this for 45 seconds. So yes, start with that speed. Just go up and up and up with the right and left leg, but it's height that will really become important when that speed starts to slow down. There we go. It's actually kind of nicer to slow down because then you can really isolate and get that toe up nice and high. But it does make it harder, and it does make it more painful. So you guys choose what you want to do there. You got 10 more seconds. My goodness. Oh, my shins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. You can tuck that toe underneath your chair, push down through that ankle, and then switch to the other side. Just that one more time. And switch. Whew. Oh yeah, our shins are probably going to feel this tomorrow. Okay, so you're back to using the chair because it's not quite about balance. This is about that glute med. This time though, we're going to bend the knee. So I want you to bend that knee at a 90-degree angle. It will look like this, not like this, okay? So it's very, very important that you lift that heel up so the knee has that big bend in it, and then we're going to kick it out to the side, okay? So bend the knee, then kick it out to the side. Some people find this much, much more difficult than doing the straight leg, especially when you have to keep that heel up and not let it drop. Try not to lean forward. they just feel like the hip, it's restricted in that movement. So this is my good side. So it's not so bad, but we'll see what my right side feels like doing today. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and good. Shake out your legs, even the supporting leg. Shift your weight to that other side. Make sure you have a big bend in that knee. And go ahead, kicking it out the side as much as possible. Oh man, Smudgy just wants cuddles on the floor, I think. That's his main goal. Got one more set of this, Smudge, so you gotta wait your turn. 10 seconds left. Really work for that height, but don't compromise your neutral position for it. 3, 2, and good. Oh, shake out those legs. Yeah. All right. Nice wide stance with those feet, and go ahead. Now, if your back was hurting for this one, you might want to do this, where you're a little bit more upright in the torso and you're just shifting the legs side to side. If you can handle it though, you are trying to get nice and low to really work on that range of motion. Hello. Oh my goodness, you're so cuddly today. I'm not even on the floor. That's usually your cuddle time. Got 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and good. So remember, you come to center first, baby step back, kick the legs out a little bit. All right? Whew. Yeah, get those hips nice and active. Okay, our shins can do this, right? No problem, they can handle doing toe taps one more time. Now do remember, if you are on long car rides as well, because, I don't know, maybe you're traveling the province or something, I don't know, you can do this definitely seated in a car as well as a plane. 45 seconds, people. Let's try this out. Stay up nice and tall and get those toes working. What this does is it will pump the blood back up to the heart from it being settled in the feet. It also does help with swelling because you remove all fluids from the legs. And as I'm sure you can tell, it really isolates and strengthens your shin muscles. So that's always good. This is the muscle that lifts the toe before you walk. So you gotta lift the toe and then put it down and then push back and then you propel yourself forward. This is very important. Obviously, very weak. Usually way weaker than the calves. So let's just keep that strong. We got 5 seconds left. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2, and good. Oh my goodness. We have to put more of those into these classes. Oh yeah, that stretch feels mighty nice on my shins. And tomorrow, if you're really quite sore and your shins are aching or the front of the knee, it was these did it all. So feel free to do that stretch as much as you want tomorrow or the next day. All right. So now what we're going to be doing is the same kind of movement, but we're doing external rotation. So definitely use your chair here. I want you to lift that knee up, but it's in front of you this time. 90-degree angle in the hip, 90-degree angle in the knee. You externally rotate out and then come back, okay? So you're tall, go ahead. Kick out, come back. Kick out, come back. And this one is by far the weirdest of them all because of that external rotation. So I don't want the body to move that way. I want your torso to stay straight, but the hip has to open that way, and it may or may not do this for you. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and good. Again, shake out those legs. Switch to the other side. Tall first, then lift the knee in front of you. And go ahead, externally rotate out and come back in. Externally rotate out, come back in. Again, try to keep that torso facing as forward as possible. This leg might twist a little bit, it kind of has to for the pelvis, but it's all in this leg. You're still using that glute med to pull it out this way. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and good. Okay, whew. Shake out those legs. I got one last time. Nice wide stance with those feet. You're gonna bend forward if you want to. If that's hurting your back, just stay up like this. You're still sitting back into those hips and the knees bend, but it's just a little bit nicer because you're not down this low, okay? So anywhere you need to be, it's always hips first, knees follow. Never, never should those knees be over the toe. So if you're up this high and you start doing this, that's not what I'm looking for. Butt still goes back, then shift side to side. We've got 10 more seconds. Really feel those muscles work on the inside of the legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you come back to center first, baby step back in, shake those legs out a little bit. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit into these stretches. Feel free to have some water and just appreciate the invention of the chair. See, how can you truly appreciate chilling on a couch if you don't put yourself through exercise first? You know? You gotta experience, not that exercise is bad, but it's certainly harder than just sitting in a chair for several hours a day. Okay, so remember, inhale nice and tall, exhale, then push forward. If you'd like, you can put some pressure on that knee. You're always breathing into this. Even if you can't physically see that movement forward, when you exhale, you're asking that glute med and the back to relax a little bit so that things are stretching and moving. Very, very subtle, but always working towards something. Lean back first, then switch to the other side. Inhale, exhale, pushing forward. Try to breathe through the belly here. May or may not be comfortable depending on your belly because you might feel a little constricted in this bent over position. But again, every time you exhale, a little bit more into that movement. One more breath. And then you lean back and come back down. Okay, this one, definitely a little bit of balance here. We're gonna open up the hips and we're gonna open up the hamstring. So make sure there's a wall or a couch or something beside you because we're gonna be using the chair as a prop. So what I want you to do is you're gonna put that foot up on the chair, the toe points straight up. Hopefully you're holding on to something, and then you're just gonna lean forward. You're trying not to open up the hips. My hips want to face forward. You're going to twist the hips so that they actually face that leg. Then you bend into the hips. Now you might only have one hand on the thigh and one hand on the wall, or you might be able to get to the shins or reach the feet. It doesn't matter, okay? Whatever that hamstring and calf are willing to do, you, as you exhale, work into it a little bit deeper. And don't cause any sharp pain. Try and relax the shoulders. You're going to come up with the torso first. Keep your foot there. The bottom of the foot goes onto the chair, and then you're simply just going to lean forward. So you're getting that stretch in the front leg and the back leg, especially here. You'll feel that movement. Try to be nice and tall on the torso. Again, breathing. The heel may or may not come up off the floor. It's up to that calf. You're going to use that leg to push back. Then you're going to come down to the ground, and we're switching to the other leg. So the heel goes on the chair, toe points up. My hips will want to open up. Don't let that happen. Close them off, face that foot, and then reach forward. Like I mentioned before, we're not usually fully equal on each side. So one side might have been totally fine for the hamstring and calf, and the other, you know, you can't get past the knee because it's just too tight. That's perfectly normal. We just like to have muscle imbalances because we compensate for a lot of things that have happened to us in our life, and then it just kind of works around it. So work with what you have, breathe into it. The torso comes up, keep your foot there. You're going to bend the knee so the bottom of the foot can come onto the chair, and then I want you to lean forward. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in that knee and that hip, but really it should be that supporting leg that you get a big stretch in that hip. Still breathing through the belly, relaxing the shoulders. And then use that front leg to push back. And then you can kick the legs a couple times. We are going to make our way onto the floor. So have some water first. And today, you don't need any weights. I know. When's the last time I said that? Do not bring your dumbbells with you onto the floor. It's been a long time. So if you need to use the chair to get down on the ground, absolutely feel free to do so. Otherwise, I want you in tabletop position first. Tabletop position, especially if you have a hard floor, you might want to use a yoga mat underneath your knees and fold it up so that you have that cushioning on the legs. Otherwise, it looks like this. You're on your hands and knees, your hands are right underneath your shoulder, and we're just going to do cat-cow to loosen up the spine. So when you inhale, I want you to drop the belly, look up, and when you exhale, I want you to curve the spine, squeeze the glutes. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, tuck the chin in towards that tailbone. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Widen the stance with your knees, feet come together, you're gonna push back into child's pose. On your exhale, pressing that chest towards the floor, maybe the head comes down a little bit as well. Try to get those hips as close to the heels as you can. And then you're gonna pull yourself forward, back to that tabletop position, and you can bring the knees in a little bit here. So this one's gonna be balanced. If your wrists cannot handle this because they are flexed, feel free to make fists or to hold on to dumbbells. That'll also help. So just pay attention to those wrists while we're doing this movement. We're gonna do opposite arm, opposite leg lifts. So your right arm and your left leg are gonna extend straight out, lift it a little bit higher towards the ceiling, and then come down and switch to your other side. Opposite arm, opposite leg, extend straight out and up, and then come back down. Lifting opposite, and come back down. You take your time with this. Really isolate that arm. Try to lift it as high as it'll go. Activate that lower back. Give me one more time with the right arm, and one more time with the left arm. And then again, wide stance to those knees, feet come together, and you're gonna push back into child's pose. Breathing here on your exhale, lower yourself a little bit closer towards your heels and a little bit closer towards the floor. Pulling yourself forward. The last one we're going to do is I'm just going to turn this way. You're still in that tabletop position. Again, if your wrists are getting sore, you might want to make a fist motion. That's okay. What I want you to do, we're going to open up the rib cage here. So I want you to put your right hand behind your head. It can be definitely very difficult to do this. So I'm going to show you this way, and then I'm going to show you the modified way. Essentially what I want you to do is bring that elbow towards the other elbow, and then you're going to rotate and look up towards the ceiling. Because that hand is behind your head, whoo, Nelly, this can be tricky on that shoulder. So you don't have to do that. You might want to just do this. You're going to bring that straight arm up over the shoulder, look up, and then you can bring it through the arm a little bit, get a little bit of a twist. Lift that whole straight arm up, the torso twists, and then come through the arm. So whatever works for you. Hand behind the head, definitely harder. Give me one more time on this side. Coming down, release that hand. You might want to roll the wrists a little bit. Hand behind the head, or a hand starting on the ground. Lift the arm up, look up towards the ceiling, and you can bring that hand through to twist a little bit, or the hand is behind your head, open up, and then that elbow comes to the opposite elbow, touch a little bit, and then come up. Got two more times. Inhale, twist, look up, come down, last time, and come down. Okay, one last time. Wide stance with those knees, feet come together. And you're gonna push back into child's pose, breathing here. Feel the stretch in the legs, in the lower back. hands come underneath your shoulders. Bring those knees in nice and close briefly into kneeling position or hero pose. And then you're going to pop down onto your butt. So I'm going to come closer to the camera so that you can see what I'm doing. Let's bring this down a little bit. Mortimer, I forgot. Mortimer's in the background. Oh, hi, Smudge. He's just chilling, enjoying the sunshine with all of the Hawaiian leis that I own in my house. I should have put one on Smudge, but I didn't. Anyways, while you're sitting there, cross leg or straight leg, totally up to you. I want you to roll your shoulders back and down so you have a nice long neck. And then you're going to bring your hands together into prayer pose, and the elbows will be up right from those wrists. Wide stance with those fingers. So instead of being like this, I want you to spread it out. Keep those elbows nice and high. Inhale. And when you exhale, push down towards the floor. So we're trying to stretch out those fingers and the wrists. Release. One more time, pushing down. Try and release those palms of your hands so it's just the fingers this time. There, to getting the stretch. And then release. I want you to have your hand facing up towards the ceiling. And then with your other hand, you're going to grab onto those fingers and just simply pull down. Straight arm, like this. And just pulling those fingers down towards you. Feeling the stretch. And then release, wiggle the fingers. We're going to switch to that other side, palm up. And then whatever you have to do to grab those fingers, just very gently. You want a nice straight elbow and just pull those fingers back. You'll feel a stretch in the wrist and the fingers, hopefully. And then you can release that and just wiggle those fingers a little bit more. Hands clasped together like this. And you're just going to make circles or figure eights with those wrists. So this will help quite a bit to loosen up all that tension that we built up. And then the last one we're going to be doing is neck stretch. So I do want those arms relaxed by your side, shoulders away from your ears, and you're going to tilt your head to the side, breathing deep. Come back to center, tilt your head to the other side. And come back. Try to keep a nice straight neck. It's only the chin. I want you to rotate as far as you can to the right. So you're doing a shoulder check, but keep that torso facing forward the whole time. Very gently look to the front, and then just the head is going to twist and look over your other shoulder. Breathe here. Come back to center, and a couple shoulder circles. Good. So I know this is a shorter video, but it's a compromise for time that I still want to get stuff out to you guys, and I want you guys to stay healthy and fit and happy. But also I don't have a lot of time for filming nowadays, so so hopefully you're okay with this. And I promise, if I have the time, I will give you the full hour. Do you want the full hour or not? I don't know. You know, it's one of those things of like, yes. I know how you feel. Don't worry. It's a love-hate relationship, but know that I love you guys and I miss you dearly, and I hope you're well. Feel free to email me at any time. And yeah, hopefully you have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. I promise. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.